Hello everyone and welcome to another Torchlight Infinite video. Today I want to go over a few of the things that I found out going over the patch notes. A little bit regarding the Thea build, which didn't change much and will probably still be a competitive league starter. So let's go over those real quick. Divine Punishment can now be auto-triggered after getting the first hero trait, so that will make it so much smoother to level with, because previously you had to wait until level 30, like 32, but now you can get it at 16. I think 16 or 20 is gonna be the new level breakpoint for that. The base trait lost 5% damage per Tenacity Blessing. All things considered, this is a very minor buff. It can scale if you were using Tenacity Blessing as the main source of obtaining extra damage, but mainly our builds use Focus Blessing, so it doesn't really affect that much. This one though, it's a huge nerf. So Predicted Hope is this trait here. And usually in the builds, I would grab first Predicted Sacrifice, and then once I got the Bitter Fruit, I would change into the Bitter Fruit that I currently don't have here, but you know, the trait that gives you this one, you will switch into Predicted Hope, and you could get up to, you know, this amount of damage. So 50 divided by 50, that is 25 blessings in total. This was not very difficult for any high investment build of Thea to achieve. And this was especially strong when you're snapshotting the damage, which I think the lightning beam actually did a little bit of it, but it wasn't really the main way for me to scale it through snapshotting. I don't really like to abuse snapshotting because I know ARPG devs don't tend to like the mechanic a lot, so they cut down on that trait massively, and we will just not build into it. It might be the case that the cooldown recovery is still very strong, so it's still worth getting, but you're not gonna get as much damage through snapshotting from this anymore. And the other nice thing is the set bonuses. So they're going to be introducing set items which will be supposedly an aid for early to mid game, and that will be replaced in the late game. So Thea has a very nice set bonus. The 2 pieces gives you critical rating per stack of focus blessings up to 150, so max bonus when you get to 10 focus blessings, which you don't tend to do in the early game. You tend to do that more, you know, in the mid game once you start getting into slates a little bit. 15 resistance when activating. You get 15 resistances. I think everyone gets something like this in the 4 set bonus. And you gain a stack of agility and tenacity blessing when you activate spell bursts, you know, helping a little bit more in the sustain of those. And you get +2 focus blessings for the 6 bonus set. So very strong, very good. You also have, there's also the prototype version of the Bitter Fruit, which is supposedly something that is easier to obtain, but it gives you a damage penalty. So you can see it here. Go over legendary gear, we go bitter. This is the one prototype. You get like a damage penalty, but you can get the traits. So that'll be interesting to build into. All in all, I don't think this build suffered too much. Again, I played it mainly as a starter. We didn't abuse auras as much. Of course, auras was a huge scaling for every build, so every build is losing damage and tankiness through the changes to auras. So that is not really something that you should worry too much about, unless you're playing Thunder Spirit Moto, that is. So let's go over that one. Also, We're not factoring in the power creep that will be added with the new league mechanics, so that will most likely be a buff in the end. So I think this build is fine. Lightning Beam will be fine. So I will be added a planner for how to level this build. It's fairly simple, you know. You just go goddess of knowledge, then you go knowledge, you go magister for the spell bursting and bunch. But I think the play is going to be to go Blade Runner, because shock now ignores lightning resistance, so you can get additional shock settles here. You can get additional damage with shock, and you can use shenanigans like using the thunder imbue, which will have some buffs as well. You can use thunder imbue, and you link thunder imbue to this thing, electric punishment, so the imbue settles an additional shock every time you hit. So that could potentially be a good way of playing the early game, and it might scale really good. We shall see. An important change is that Spellburst no longer works with triggered skills. So if you're intending to play this, something like this, and change into cast on crit later, that doesn't work anymore. Not cast on crit, cast while channeling. That cannot be done with Spellburst. It probably is still stronger than the self-cast version, but you can no longer combine them both. You cannot get the best of both worlds with casual channeling. So there's that. Now going over Moto, which has a lot of changes, most of them nerfs. Already went over Thunder Spirit, but now I want to plan for how we could probably league start order calling Moto, and things that got changed that are slight buffs. So first of all, Dark Gate. For everyone that doesn't know, and I don't blame you if you don't know, because it was a terrible skill in my opinion. Dark Gate, it's, if you play PoE, it's convocation basically. Brings the minions to you, it gives them a little bit of movement speed, and it gives them command. Now command is great, the problem is that it gives you command return speed, which makes command decay way faster. So for instance, if I go ahead and equip Dark Gate right now, I didn't buy it. There it is. Oh, let me delete something here. Buy Spider Tank. Yeah. Okay. Get Dark Gates. So as you can see, you use this ability, you gain some command, but command decays fast, right? You know, it's less than a second of high command. But the good thing is that it pulls the minions to you. Now, what we're getting is that this buff is now giving you a 2-second duration of a 14% additional damage, which scales with Empower effect. This used to be just a persistent skill. Now it gained the Empower attack, and I looked at this through TLIDB. They usually use the string files to get the information on their database, so it's fairly accurate, and I trust this source. So if you go to take a look at Dark Gate, see it now has the Empower tag, which means it can be supported by things like Mania, and we can scale it through Empower effect, which if I recall correctly, Moto has few relics that scale Empower effect as well. So this could potentially be interesting. Again, I think the play is going to be built into into command with synthetic troops rather than trying to build into Thunder Spirits, which is the way Moto was intended to play anyway. So yeah, I'm kind of mad that the other build got destroyed, but you know, there's this. I don't remember what level we got this before, but Green Phantom is now given to you at level 7. I think it was like level 30 something, which didn't really make too much sense to me. But not, yeah, Moto gets it level 7 apparently now. There's a new item, the Spellburst Belts, I call it, and it's this Rat Herder's Golden Rain. It looks very interesting, and I think it might be something worth building into with Grim Phantoms. The problem is that it's dropped from the new boss, so Spellburst Moto is not gonna be a thing for League start. It's probably gonna be a second build or a reroll into after clearing most of the Nether realm. But it looks very interesting, this item. I will for sure be building into it if I get my hands into if I get my hands on it. Then okay, Mind Infusion is here. I have my notes here, but let's just go over it. So Mind Infusion, the current version has you need to corrode it to get +2. Now you can naturally roll +2, and you can corrode it to +3 actually, and also you get this line here. You cast an Empower skill, and you can cast a level 10 to 20 Dark Gate. The bad thing is that you cannot support this Dark Gate with everything. The good thing is that, you know, the room was already tied up with defensive skills, mobility skills, and your main damage skill. Of course, that Nourishment Light will not be here, but we will probably have Dazzling Bloom here. And most likely the setup is gonna be not Dark Gate or use Dark Gate until we get the Mind Infusion. But once we get the Mind Infusion, we use Machine Army, which it lost the attack speed, but it now gives additional damage, so it's still good. Here it will be. It depends if we're going to conversion, which I think it's better. Then elemental shock, it's very good. If we do not go into conversion, then this could be used for another defensive skill and Dazzling Bloom. That'll probably be the play. These it could be the defensive, or it could be the mobility skill, and of course we will have an additional aura here. I don't know how the defensive skill and trigger thing setup is gonna be. That'll be something we have to figure out later. But yeah, Mind Infusion probably was already kind of a staple, so it's probably gonna be even more now that you can get out to +3. Pretty good. And more movement speed as well. Warden's Breastpin got a little bit worse and a little bit better at the same time. Worse because this used to roll from 80 to 100. Now it's 60 to 120. So the low end is worse, but the high end is better. The corroded, it's also worse because it was 100 to 150. Now you have a high range. So kind of a nerf to Breastpin overall. But yeah, there's that. It's also super rare, so but we might be able to get it a little bit earlier through the new target farming system. Okay, nothing else changed on the the core items. This, from what I could see, Winter of Origin remains the same. The Fiend Crown remains the same as well. Where's it? Fiend Crown remains the same, I think. Yeah, Breastpin got changed a little bit. Machine Lord. So Machine Lord got introduced maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago. And it was always an interesting item to me, except for the fact that on the season it was introduced, you could build into Machine Lord using mechanical modification, which made it worthwhile because, you know, you're cutting you're limiting the number of minions you can summon either way. So using mechanical mod was not really a drawback. But with the recent changes, mechanical mod no longer works properly with Machine Lord. You can see I have 3 green phantoms, which is my maximum. This Machine Lord is corroded, and it says that the minion troop quantity is fixed at 2. It says fixed at 2. It doesn't say the maximum is 2. It says it's fixed at 2. But I suppose mechanical modification doesn't care about that, because when you equip this helmet, you cannot summon more than 1, even if you have the corroded version. And now, the new corroded version can go to +3. But if it doesn't work with this, I need to keep only one tab. Okay. It can go up to +3, but if it doesn't work with mechanical modification, it's still kind of worthless. Although this is a lot of damage, so 3 minions without mechanical mod with all of these bonuses might still be very good. It could potentially be very strong, but I'm just pissed that it doesn't work with mechanical modification, which is the obvious way to build it. And it's the only way you would use mechanical modification with order calling, because it's otherwise terrible. But okay. Anyway, moving on. The Iron Nest got a slight change. This was already pretty good. It was already very, very good. Now that command is gonna be way more available. Getting to -60 is gonna be not gonna be trivial, but it's gonna be attainable. And this gave it a lot of damage. I think I have an Iron Nest here, so we can compare. There you go. So the current version of Iron Nest, I think the change was this one. 200% multi-strike chance and multi-strike increased damage. Okay, that's the same. Let me look at the patch notes. Okay, command per second is converted into command decrease. Use Darkgate. Okay, you lose command with Darkgate. Minions can move. I don't know why duration is still here if minions are infinite for like 3 seasons already. Okay, this one. When command is no more than -20 is the same thing. This aura effect is kind of pointless now because we don't have as many auras. %35% projectile damage, 35% projectile damage. I don't really see the change. What's the change? Oh, lose 70 command when using Darkgate. That's gone. So it says kind of a nerf, honestly. But all in all, you're not really conditioned to using Darkgates with it, which you would anyway because of how good it is compared to previously. But yeah, so it got a slight nerf, as most everything Moto did for some reason. Okay, moving on. So we got Machine Lord. What else was interesting that I wanted to look at? So Breastbeam, the new item, Machine Lord, Iron Nest. Okay, the Cry of Divinity. This is a good item for the early game. It used to give only 1 command every 2 seconds. Now it's 2 command every 2 seconds. So basically, your minions crit, and you get 4 commands. that's decent. It's a little bit better than before, and it's gonna make you gonna allow the sustain of command to be obtained, the high sustain to be obtained a little bit earlier. I already checked the rings and the belt, which was one of the main way we got command from. They remain unchanged. But so we want to be at 60 commands. The way we will achieve that is by using this belt, the Cry of Divinity. There is also a unique shield called the Unbreakable Shield, which now can give you up to minus 60 command return speed, which from what I know is the only source of reduced return speed. So return speed is how fast this wants to go back to equilibrium, which is by default 0. The default value is, it increases for like every 7 command that you have, and the higher you go, the higher it wants to return to equilibrium, so the more command per second you need to sustain it. With that shield, let me see if I have one of those. Not, I'll just buy one. Should have. Shield, friend. Oh, no, it's a deck shield. Unbreakable. Okay. Put that. And I'm gonna use. Okay, that's. Let me see when it's actually active. That took like 1 second. You see, it's noticeable once you have high command generation. Right now, we don't really have much of it. Here we have just 4 command per second, and we're not really getting anything on the tree. But that could be an interesting way of building it. Then for Cry of Divinity, the Ember Shield of Black Gorge now gives 16 command instead of 30 once moving. That was also that was a little bit better than the Unbreakable Shield in my opinion. And the relics, for the relics, a few of them, these are the ones that came to my attention. So Dazzling Bloom, working on minions, on synthetic troops. Dazzling Bloom is this skill, which you use it, and then for the next 2 seconds, then they gain a lot of damage, 60% additional damage, and they target rares. Before they target the enemy with the highest rarity that is close to them. It's a very good buff, and having it work on synthetic troops might be a very interesting take on the build. The pen, the minion and elemental pen, it's worse because it no longer scales with overload effect, but it's still pretty good. Chance to gain command when inflicting overload. This is probably gonna be what I will go for, and there is chance to deal double damage after casting Dark Gate. 25% chance to deal double damage is a lot. Minion double damage is decently difficult to come by, and minion double damage ties up into this node. No, actually this one, Brothers in Arm, which gives you command to the minions every time they deal double damage, 12% chance. So if you have 6 minions, this pretty much happens like a few times per second. So if you combine this with chance to gain command when gaining overload, you can generate a lot through this node and minion double damage. So my take is I will probably go with these two for starters, and then once I test a few of the other combinations, These two, yeah. Once I test some other combinations, like how good Dazzling Bloom would be compared to these other two, I might change it around. But initially, this will be the relic I will go for. Regarding memories, we get a few options with which we can sacrifice the minions to gain some damage. There's with this one, use a defensive skill. A minion dies, you take 12% less damage. That with Green Phantoms will not be, you will not notice the minion going away because the Green Phantom resummons them every second. That's pretty good. I think this is a very interesting defensive setup. And most importantly, this one, gain 18 command when using an empower skill. Now, again, so Dark Gate gives 50. And you see how fast this goes away. 50 is gone in a second. So unless we can trigger empower skills every second, this will not be very useful, in my opinion. But there are a few others that I think will be, though. Let's see. Order calling, hero memories. This one, additional minion damage for 20 seconds every time a new synthetic troop is summoned, up to 10 stacks. So that's up to 40% additional damage per memory. You can have 3 of these. That's a lot of damage. And you can also have this one, gains commands for every, ideally you will go for the 1 synthetic troop minion within 10 meters. So pairing up with Dark Gate, you will keep the minions close to you. And it doubles if the minions are closer, even closer. So this is 1 command for every troop. We can have up to 6 minions. That would be 6 command per minion. And we can have 3 of these. That will be 18. If you have double, that will be 36 command per second. That's way more than what we were able to get before. The relics used to give you only 4. They were kind of terrible. And empower skill effect while standing still is also something that becomes very interesting. And aura effect per commands, again, it remains to be seen how many sources of additional auras we get, but with only 4 auras, I don't know if investing into aura effect is the play anymore. So I think that's enough talking. So I'm gonna go over really quick this planner, and I'm gonna just wing it, right? During leveling, I just play whatever. It remains to be seen, for instance, the set items. We don't know the modifiers that we can get. We know the set bonuses, but there is all these pieces, and they have set effect affix and hero trait affix. We don't know what the hero trait affix might be. So my suggestion is be flexible. If you get a bonus for machine guards, then play machine guards. If you get it for the spiders, play spiders. Be very flexible on your leveling, and then just once we get to the late game, we can actually get into something more structured. So for the early game, yeah, they already have this updated. It's going to be 25, 45, 60, 75, and 90. That is when the traits are going to be unlocked. It's no longer going to be like 12, 32. So it's a bit later, moving the power spikes slightly. But what we'll do is machine army for damage, blink. Ideally, you find an interlocking soul. This is the ideal scenario. And if you find 2, you're gaining Interlock console. We're gonna use a Cry of Divinity for the command. And Mind Infusion is kind of rare, so probably try to get it with the beats. There's always the option of going minion low life. It hasn't changed. The horn ring is also available over there, but I will mostly just go for rares. So this will be for leveling, right? And we will be building as usual, just taking the top row of modifiers. Since, to be honest, this is useless. This is good, but you need to build into it. You need to be able to reduce the minion life. And once we can get the standards one, sure, that'll be amazing. Separate control center. And so probably go for this. Chance to inflict command. And the other one was either Dark Gate of Dazzling Bloom. Probably Dazzling Bloom will be a bit better, and maybe the Dark Gate one is better later. Or maybe Dark Gate is better early. I don't know. I'll just go with this one for now. And for the memories, there are a few interesting ones. There is crit multi. Minion life is gone. I think minion damage is also gone. Minion crit damage is gone. But we can get. So I would run at least one of these for defense. Yes, just at least one of these for defense, and whatever commands. This is gone. We can get this one instead. So one of the defense ones, and the other one. So ideally, you get the prototype. Eagles fight to the death prototype to get last stand. And then we can go into low life minions, which is a lot of damage. If you go low life minions, then you use the force going for this one. Not undercurrent. What was the name of it? I always forget the name of this armor. I barely ever use it. Actual Planner has it actually. By my side, Ranger of Glory. Let me see. Order calling. There you go. When the character has at least 2. Oh, okay. Okay, we get minion damage. Oh, that's pretty good. We'll probably go something like this. Minion crit rating on the globes. Again, this will make defenses a little bit chance to deal double damage. And support skill level. That's pretty good. Yeah, I dig this. For recalling minion movement speed, it's decent-ish. So that's a 4-piece. There's this one. Okay. It doesn't really say which one. Increase order calling. Damage taken is transfers to minion. Pretty good. So with 6 is gain command when inflicted overload. So we probably want the 6-bit set. Is there a ring? Yeah, there's a ring. So it goes something like this, and probably a horn ring. Horn ring. Yeah, so the gear might look something like this in the early game. 6-bit set. There's a shield, then that's also an option. But yeah, there isn't. So just go. Oh, fast stand. Ideally is the Ember Shield of Black Gorge. However, this shield is somewhat rare. And it gives you a -1, but it's a +1. Yes, so this is pretty good. So let's do something like this, right? This will be like early game. And you either got machine guards or spiders. Probably spider is gonna be way better. I don't know, it says aim shot, but yeah, it's this one. It's the spider. And for spider, I think I want to go lightning conversion, so we go God of Machines. We go God of Machines. We of course go Machinist, and we go Blade Runner. So Blade Runner has bonuses to both Multi Strike and Shock. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this planner because doing that on video is kind of a waste of time. I'm gonna be finishing the planner. I'll attach this planner and the Thea planner to the video description. And again, take this with the grain of salt. I don't know how easy it will be to obtain these pieces of gear, so don't quote me on, hey, Richter said I was going to be able to build into this, and and this cost 2000 FE a piece. I don't know how easy it's going to be to obtain them. So if you cannot get them, just put rare gear pieces here, whatever. Of course, mining fusion is better than these boots. The low life armor is probably better than these as well. You'll want to get the command thing here to scale command as high as possible. Command is not as good on the spider tanks, but it gives you pierce. It allows you to reduce the amount of projectile supports that you have to build into. So it's decent. Anyway, that's all I got. That was a very rambling video. So if you're still watching, you're the MVP, and I thank you for it. So if you're still here, tell me why pineapple on pizza is not great. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.